Thank you for taking the time to watch this short video on the WinSpect Next Remark Library. The WinSpect Next Remark Library is probably one of the most important features in WinSpect Next, and it is probably one of the things that's going to take you the longest to configure and set up. Basically, we want you to go through your entire library, make sure that you remove duplicate data, consolidate remarks, and make sure the database is the most efficient. And doing this will make using WinSpect Next a much more efficient tool to perform your home inspections. To access the Remark library from the WinSpect dashboard, we're going to click on the Remark library button, and that will take us to our Remark library. So my Remark library has loaded, and there's nothing pre-selected when I came into the Remark library. The Remark library will remember what you were doing the last time you were in it. So it will pre-populate with remarks and things from the last time you were in the Remark library. But I've cleared all of my selections, so I can talk a little bit about the screen. So the first thing I want you to notice is the left side of the screen contains our tag area. Okay, and tags are extremely important, and understanding how tags work is very, very instrumental in being able to use the library effectively. So every tag comes in a pair. There's a parent tag and a child tag. So every child tag should be part of a parent-child tag pair. And if you notice, the parent tags, which are currently displayed, are all of the categories within your inspection report. So you have a half bathroom category, therefore you have a half bathroom parent tag. You have an air conditioning category, therefore you have an air conditioning parent tag. And if I click the plus next to these parent tags, what I'll do is I'll expand out and I'll show the child tags. And again, the child tags are going to equal the questions. So there's a question, half bathroom, basin, drain, and so therefore there's a tag pair for basin, drain, and half bathroom. And the same thing goes for half bathroom, basin fixtures, and so on and so on. So every category in question in your checklist should have an associated parent-child tag pair. Each remark in the Remark library must have at least one defined remark pair. So that means every remark must be assigned a tag pair, whether it's half bathroom, basin, drain, or air conditioning, condenser coil condition. Every remark needs to have a tag. And so these tags are going to be used throughout the report writer to show you a subset of your remark library. If I want, and I want to see everything that's in my remark library, I can click on the box that says all tags. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click all tags. It's going to tag every one of my parent tags, and it's going to load my screen with all of my remarks. I've got 124 pages and a total of 1,240 records. So if I were to look at my library just in my inspection and I didn't have a way to shorten the list of things that I was looking at, I would have to wade through 1,240 remarks so that I could place them properly in my inspection report. The tag is what helps limit that view to just basically where you are in the report. So when I'm in half bathrooms and I'm on that basin drain question, the only remarks I want to see when I access the library are going to be those tagged to half bathroom and basin drain. And the same thing goes for when I'm searching my remarks, because from the checklist, you can actually just search the remarks by typing in a word or phrase, and it will search just those remarks that are tagged for the section and subsection or category question that you're currently in. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this interface. I'm just going to uncheck all tags, and that will uncheck everything. And I'm going to blank out my screen. So I want to talk about the main window here. So we have 5 boxes here. We have a description box, a remark box, a summary box, a popularity box, and a last modified box. The 3 most important are going to be description, remark, and summary. And you'll notice that there's a text window below each of these description, remark, and summary. And what this is for is if you've brought up your library, you can go ahead and put in a search term. For instance, if I do all tags and I bring up everything and I search for the word maintenance here in description, what will happen is it will sort through and show me only those descriptions, only those remarks where the description has the word maintenance in their description column. which makes this very usable. So if I'm in an electrical section and I have lots of remarks, even though I'm looking at maybe plug switches, outlets, and junction boxes, but maybe I have 20, 30 remarks already in my library just for that one item, I can come into the library and further scale down my view by typing in a search term in one of these boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clear that and clear this, and that'll clear off my screen again. And I can do the same thing for the remark column and the summary column. But let's talk about the remark column and the summary column. When we first rolled out WinSpec Next, we were telling you that you can take text and have it in the body of the report, and you can have different text and have it in the summary report. And one way to achieve that was to put text in a remark box and in a summary box for each of your remarks. Once we received feedback from the network that the checklist screen was really busy and hard to work with, we needed to sort of get rid of some extra buttons and tabs and things. And so one of the things that we decided was, we decided to look at the database, look at the Remark database for all users, over 100,000 remarks, and find out how many remarks in the database had both a remark piece and a summary piece. Less than 2% of all of the remarks in our database had text on both the remark side and the summary side. So one of the modifications that we did was all remarks, they're either remark or they're summary. So when you add a remark to your inspection report, whether it's got text on the remark side or text on the summary side, that text will display on the checklist. It doesn't matter which box it's in your remark. But what that means is we can't put text in both the remark side and the summary side. And so what I'm working with ISN to do is consolidate this interface where you won't have two different boxes, one for remark and one for summary. There's just going to be one box for your comment text. And that comment text can be assigned to a summary report, like the maintenance report, or not assigned to the summary report and be just in the main body of the report. What's nice is that WinSpec Next allows you to have multiple remarks assigned to your question. In WinSpec Classic, when you would assign a response dropdown, let's say attention or maintenance, that entire category, question, response, and comment, the entire comment, would be assigned to, let's say, the summary report. In WinSpec Next, you are allowed to assign the remarks to the report, not the actual category, question, response combination. So whether your response is attention or maintenance or action required, it's the comment, it's that remark that is tagged to go to a summary report or a non-summary report. And because WinSpec Next allows you to have multiple remarks assigned to each of your category, question, responses, you can assign those remarks individually to the report. So you can bring in one remark that goes to the summary and maybe an informational remark that just prints in the main body of the report and doesn't show up in the summary. So that's something that WinSpec Classic can't do, but WinSpec Next can. It's one of the powerful things about WinSpec Next is that you can have a lot of information pre-configured to load and then just change out the items that need to be called out on a summary report. So I'm going to go ahead and just to have some demonstration data, I'm going to bring up my half bathroom basin drain. And you'll notice I didn't check the box half bathroom. If I check the box half bathroom, just like checking the main box next to all tags, I'm selecting everything under half bathroom. And while that's not terrible, I mean, half bathroom probably doesn't have more than 25 or 30. I'll go ahead and I'll just set that. I've got 30 records. If I'm looking for specifically basin drain issues, then I don't need to see caulking and floor cover and heat. And so what I just want to do is check basin drain. And what that's going to do is it's going to leave me with 4 records. And that's a lot easier to handle than 30 records or 1,200 records. So these are all of my half bathroom basin drain records. And so now we can look in the description. I have action required. I have maintenance. These words actually, when you export your data from WinSpec, these words are pre-populated in that description box. And the reason that we use these words is because these are words that you're familiar with from Classic. And so when you set your response option, when you drop down the box for the answer to the question, and you set it to action required or maintenance, You can easily find your correct comment just by coming into the library and looking for these words. So action required. If I have an action required under my basin drain, I'm looking at action required drain leaking and action required sink damage. Okay, so which of these two do I want to use? I don't have to go and read the actual summary to find these out. And if I'm on the report screen, I can type in the word action required and find these two items only. Or I can type in drain and I can see the words drain that appear. And so having a good solid description that uses a standard terminology will make it much easier for you to find items in the library if you don't just already have them pre-populating when you select your response option. When we look at the remark column, we don't see that much, but the remark column does show what your items are tagged to. And so what I have here is I've got the half bathroom basin drain tag assigned to all of these. And that's because that's what I've got selected, half bathroom basin drain. But you'll notice there's no text. There's no like text in the remark side because all of these items are summary report items. Therefore, there's just summary items here. So all of my remarks for half bathroom basin drain are in my summary column. And so I can see here the half bathroom sink appears to be leaking and the conditions here. I have pencil boxes in each of my boxes here. So if I want to make a change to my description, I just click on the edit button here and I make a change to my description. If I've got text in the remark box and I want to make a change, I just click on the edit box here. In the summary, I can click on here. I get into a nice little editor. I can make a change. I can go ahead and save that change, and then I move on. I want to go ahead and I'll just remove that word and save that. So if I want to add a new remark, if I'm doing some library upkeep, maybe I've got some data that I've put into WinSpec Classic after I exported my data, and I want to go ahead and add some items to my library. We have a nice little add button here at the top, and if I click on add, I'm given a nice, easy interface, and the first thing it asks for is a description. So again, that description is going to be a word or phrase that describes what's going to be in the remark. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and put in just sort of a general upkeep statement about maintaining checking under the sink and things like that. And so once I've gone ahead and I've put my description in, I've got some content. Now the content box is specifically designed to use non-summary items. So if this is a non-summary item, which in this case general upkeep is non-summary, I can go ahead and I can type in my data here. And I've typed in the inspector recommends that the client check under the sink every 6 months looking for signs of moisture which may indicate a leak. It's just a very generic statement. All right. If I decide, well, you know what, this really should be on a maintenance report, it really should be part of the maintenance report, what I can do is I can come down here to summary, I can click the checkbox next to maintenance, and I can just copy the content down here. And now this will take the comment and put it into the maintenance side. And in this case, I don't want this to be in maintenance. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to seal that back up. But the last thing I need to do is I need to assign it a tag pair. Remember, every remark needs to be saved with a tag pair. As a matter of fact, at the very bottom here, it's going to say, please select at least one tag. And so I have a list of all of my tags. These are all of my parent tags. And if I want, I can go ahead and expand into them and see all of the child tags. But we give you a nice little search facility. So this is basin drain. I can just type in basin here. And everywhere basin shows up, this is the parent tag that contains it. So I've got half bathroom basin drain. And I'll go ahead and I'll tag it to that. I also have bathroom and washroom basin drain. So this is an interesting feature that WinSpec Classic does not allow you to do. In WinSpec Classic, a comment is for a specific category question response combination. In other words, even if I am in half bathroom basin drain and I change my response from maintenance to attention, those remarks are completely separate and independent. I don't have access to any of those remarks. But WinSpec Next allows you to say, I want to access any remark from anywhere in my checklist. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and tag this to bathroom washroom basin drain. So this one remark now will show up in 2 separate places. I only need to enter it once. So if I tag this to multiple spots and I make a change, if I'm in half bathroom basin drain, I make a change to this, or I'm in bathroom washroom basin drain and I make a change to this, both places will reflect it because it's only one remark. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that tag or add that remark. And so now here I have at the bottom my satisfactory general upkeep. The inspector recommends the client check underneath the sink, and now I've got my tag pairs right here. Now, if I want to, I can come right here, I can click assign tag here, and I can choose. Just like the same, like creating a new remark, I can come in here and I can say, oh, here's bathroom, basin drain. I can do that. And I've just updated this one remark to show up in both places. But before you start doing that, before you start assigning things at the top and you're moving your way down, what I would recommend, and I'm going to go ahead and unselect this. What I would recommend is bring up bathroom, washroom, and basin drain. Right? So now your result set is not just showing half bathroom, basin drain, it's showing full bathroom, basin drain as well. And look, I've got 9 records now. 9 records. Well, are basin drain issues different between a half bathroom and a full bathroom? Probably not. As a matter of fact, when you look at your data that you've imported from WinSpec Classic, you're going to notice that you've got the same remarks over and over and over again. So if I've sorted by my description, so here are my action required items. So here, for instance, action required, drain leaking, full bathroom washroom, action required, drain leaking, half bathroom washroom, bathroom sink appears to be leaking, bathroom drink. These are the same remarks. So what I can do is I can come to one of them, click assign tag. I know it's half bathroom, basin drain. Save it, and now I can delete the other one. Here's another one. Action required, under sink repairs, under sink damage. Well, let's take a look. The remarks are the descriptions are a little different, but if I look at the remarks themselves, exactly the same. So again, I just assign tag, half bathroom, basin drain, and save. Delete the extra one. Here's a clog, may need a professional. This one's already tagged to half bathroom, basin drain. So I'm going to tag this one to bathroom, basin drain and save and delete the extra. So here's leaking drain pipe, maintenance, leaking drain pipe, half bathroom sink appears to be leaking around the drain pipe connection. That's not a duplicate. There's not another one like that. Maybe I need something like this in the full bathroom. It's a maintenance item. It's not action required like this is an action required leaking. It's a significant drain leak. Here's a maintenance one. It's just a maintenance drain leak. Okay, so we can add tag and assign it to half bathroom and basin drain. So now I can generate consistency in my reporting. But I know what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, well, this one says half bathroom sink. Well, what if it's the regular bathroom? I have to edit it every single time. You really don't need to do that. So what I can do, and this is where we start getting into some advanced topics. So I'm gonna say this really slow. I can edit this statement, and I can make it so that WinSpec Next will allow me to choose, is it a half bathroom or is it a full bathroom? Because I can put drop-down choices into my remarks. Okay? I can put drop-down choices into my remarks. And all I need to do that is I put a bracket. I put an option. Maybe this is master bathroom. A semicolon. Maybe it's a guest bathroom. And a semicolon. Maybe it's the half bathroom. And when I'm done, I put another bracket. So I put in my first option, master, a semicolon. My second option, guest, a semicolon, and I end it with a square bracket. So a square bracket to start, a square bracket to end. And when I save this, I now have a drop-down box. So now it's the master bathroom sink drain appears to be leaking, or the guest bathroom sink appears to be leaking, or the half bathroom sink appears to be leaking. And so when I pull this statement into my report, all I need to do is drop down the box for whichever bathroom this is in. And I can get very, very specific with this. Take, for instance, this action required where it's significantly leaking around the drain. Watch what I can do. So this is the bathroom sink drain. So let's go ahead and first off, we're going to define this. Master, semicolon, guest, semicolon, half, bracket. Put a space. So now it's going to be either the master, guest, or half bathroom sink drain appears to be leaking significantly around the drain. But what if it's not significantly leaking? Well, I can leave a blank option by just putting a semicolon at the beginning and then ending it with a bracket. So now when I look at this and I save this, the master or guest or half bathroom sink drain appears to be leaking or significantly leaking around the drain pipe. Well, that just replaces this one because it's the same remark. So maybe this one has some extra data. Repair replacing the drain pipe or connection gasket is needed. That's exactly what this says. And now that I've gotten rid of the word significantly and made it a choice, I can get rid of this remark. So I started with half bathroom and it had 4 remarks. I added this satisfactory general upkeep to give me 5 remarks just in half bathroom. And then I went into my full bathroom and washroom and I consolidated all of those remarks. I've lowered the amount of remarks between those 2 areas of my database by 50%. I will almost guarantee that when you go through your remark database and you make some of these changes, you will be able to easily remove a third of your remark library just by consolidating duplicates, just by creating simple drop-down boxes within your statements. And that is going to make your database faster to load, easier to access, and it's going to make it much more flexible to use these remarks throughout your report. The last one I have here is this bathroom washer where it's completely blocked and needs clearing. So I'll come in here and I'll edit this one again. And it's, again, so easy. Bracket, master, semicolon, guest, semicolon, half, for my choice of bathrooms. The basin drain appears to be completely blocked, or maybe it's just partially blocked. Bracket, partially, completely. With debris buildup, drains at a very slow rate, clearing blockage are recommended. Save. Okay, so now I've got a partially blocked drain, a completely blocked drain, a minor leak, a significant leak, undersink damage. Here's one that says drain is clogged and may need to be removed by professionals. Wouldn't this be a duplicate of this? So let's get rid of this one. And just like that, we're back down to 4 records. But now we're covering a new satisfactory general upkeep, and we're covering pretty much most situations once I tag this to half bathroom basin drain. Most basin drain issues for both half bathrooms and full washrooms just by creating some basic drop-down boxes. So the remark library is extremely powerful. Going through the remark library before you start using WinSpec Next, if you want to jump in and start using WinSpec Next, you need to spend time and go through your library. How long would this take me to go through 1,200 records? Well, Pat and I went through the entire database to set up defaults and do things like this for our new configuration for all new franchisees. And it honestly took him about 2 weeks on and off as he found time. It doesn't take that long And once you get going and once you sort of master some of the techniques of adding these drop-down boxes and looking for commonality between your remarks so that you can delete things and looking at, well, gee, a toilet issue in a half bath and a toilet issue in a full bath are the same, or a window issue on kitchens and a window issue in living rooms and a window issue in bathrooms and half bathrooms, they're all the same. And so if you spend the time and consolidate your database, you're going to have a much easier time with the next step, which is basically going through your inspection template and setting up your defaults. And that's going to be my next video is going to be on how to set up your defaults in your template and your filters. I do appreciate you taking about the 30 minutes to watch this short video presentation on the Remark library. I will guarantee you that the time that you spend modifying your Remark library and getting this thing in order is going to pay off 1,000-fold when you do your inspections. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me or Pat. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.